strategies as we wind up for the day. Kunal, anything that's looking good to you on the charts?
Yeah, I'll go with a contraband HUL. I think today the stock is a little bit muted, but I think after yesterday's price action move and the stock challenging its 200-day moving average, I believe that eventual breakout could be in the offing pretty soon over the next couple of days. So would suggest a buy with 2,500 as a target. Stop us at 2,350. Apollo Tyres is something which I had recommended yesterday. The stock is doing fairly well for itself, bounced back from its short-term moving averages, and today I think it's nearing a swing breakout. So looks attractive at current levels. Would maintain the buy on Apollo Tyres. Targets remain at 480. Stop loss trail to 460.
Okay, so HUL and Apollo Tyres looking good to Kunal right now. Sharon, what about you? Where are you placing your BTST picks?
So I like HDFC AMC again, looking like it's going to retest its all-time high. Again, a very good volume action today, on back of maybe fundamental. Some report had come out with a target of 6,000 odd level. But looking at the price action, I think it'll retest its all-time high and can give a bigger breakout to 5,400 odd levels. My second pick will be Grasim, as Kunal explained earlier very well. So the stock has taken good support around its 20-day moving average, and I think again it's again getting ready to retest its all-time high and maybe higher. Looking at the price action, so I would suggest a stop loss of around 2780 odd level or a day low around 20-day EMA with targets of all-time high and even more. I think it can easily touch 3,000 odd levels in the coming weeks.
All right, so those are the buy calls coming in from Sharan, as well as tire counters is something that Kunal is liking at this point in time. But just a few minutes before we shut shop for today, and Mr. Tandon, if you can help us understand any new theme that is looking good to you in the markets, because of late we have seen FMCG and staples posting a good quarterly updates. Select counters within the financial pack have been doing well and coming out with good numbers. So any sector that you believe can be good for now for investors to accumulate?
I mean, the market is at a stage where I guess most obvious buys are already well priced. That said, I would still argue that the financials still look quite okay. The lead banks, of course, are already doing quite well, but are likely to continue. NBFCs, you could add to the space given the surplus liquidity that we have in the system. Of course, that will mean that their portfolio will start to weaken, but at least for the next 6 quarters or so, you don't expect to see that actually coming through. So therefore, that could be an area that one is looking at. I think the traditional growth in terms of insurance, asset management, etc., also is likely to sustain. Many of the other sectors like staples, etc., are probably not going to sustain for very long for the simple reason that, if inflation actually comes under control and remains at sub 3%, your nominal GDP growth will now fall in single digits. If you are assuming a real growth of 6.5, and inflation of, let's say, another 3%, you are looking at a nominal growth of 9%. FMCG cannot grow very much more than that. And that will automatically mean that the earnings growth will be again in mid to low level single digit growth. That doesn't sustain for very high stock prices given the current valuations.
Right, okay, that's the take coming in on the overall market. Of course, it's going to be all about earnings now.